The markets may be closed, but the business stories are just heating up. I'm Robert Tan. Catch up with us on Business Brief. Here are this afternoon's top business stories. Impeachment filed against Marcos accuses Duterte arrests and constitutional breaches. Marcos defends Antique Airport smart spending amid rising criticism. Philippine sports gets major boost. PAGCOR, PSC unveil multi-million facility upgrades. Visa crunch hits Japan embassy. Officials urge to open more slots now. Billionaires' wealth skyrockets to $18.3 trillion. Millions struggle to keep up. One piece of paper is routine in politics. This one is not. An impeachment complaint has been filed against President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., the first of his presidency. The complaint, filed by attorney Andre De Jesus and endorsed by Pusong Pinoy Party List Representative Jet Misay, was received by the House Secretary General on Monday. Grounds include graft, corruption, culpable violation of the Constitution, and betrayal of public trust. It cites alleged due process violations in the turnover of former President Rodrigo Duterte to the International Criminal Court, along with budget insertions, ghost projects, and kickbacks. The filing also questions the signing of the national budget from 2023 to 2026, flagging unprogrammed appropriations and the transfer of excess PhilHealth funds, a provision later declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. Malacanang acknowledges the complaints as a legitimate part of the democratic process, emphasizing that Marcos remains focused on governance and public service and that institutions remain strong. The move adds a new layer of political uncertainty with potential implications for investor confidence. As questions swirl around how government money is spent, President Marcos spotlights a project he says delivers results. He says the Antique Airport development proves public funds can translate into functional infrastructure. The project overhauls the airport with a new passenger terminal, an air traffic control tower, an apron, a taxiway, and support facilities aimed at improving safety and passenger comfort. Marcos knows the terminal now handles 360 passengers, up from 64, allowing for faster, more orderly transport operations. He calls on government officials to treat the project as a benchmark for effective infrastructure delivery for both local communities and tourists. The money goes into sports, but the return is meant for the economy. Executive Secretary Ralph Recto announces a partnership between the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation and the Philippine Sports Commission to upgrade sports facilities across the country. Recto says the move supports President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s push to develop world-class Filipino athletes and position the Philippines as a competitive sporting nation. PAGCOR and the PSC agreed to complete and upgrade key sports infrastructure in multiple regions. The project covers Ilocos Norte, Siargao, Zamboanga City, and Baguio, including training centers, multi-sport facilities, and athletes' dormitories. The program signals new public spending in construction, hospitality, and sports tourism, with potential gains for local jobs and international events. A luxury Ferrari turns out to be more than just fast. It's carrying the wrong identity. The Highway Patrol Group reports one of former lawmaker Saldico's confiscated cars has a spurious license plate. HPG PNP Director Brigadier General Hansel Marantan says a macro-etching check revealed the Ferrari is registered to another individual who owns the same model. Authorities are now trying to determine whether the plate actually belongs to Ko or the other driver. The HPG PNP is coordinating with the Land Transportation Office to file additional cases against Ko. Meanwhile, authorities are still tracking down the former lawmaker's remaining 10 luxury vehicles, keeping the investigation very much on the move. Japan's tourism boom is running full speed, but travelers can't get on board. Visa bottlenecks are slowing the flow just as demand spikes. The Global Tourism Business Association is calling on the Japan Embassy to open more appointment slots. Travel agencies report long waits with visa facilitation services, Global saying the next available slots start only in April. Some applicants are even considering flying to Cebu or Davao just to secure an appointment. The GTBA warns that scarce slots could push Filipino travelers to choose other destinations despite Japan's peak winter season. Data from the Japan National Tourism Organization shows foreign visitors to Tokyo surged 17.6% in October 2025, nearly 3.9 million arrivals. Filipino tourist number rose to 5.2% in the first quarter of 2025 to an estimated 211,200. Limited visa access means lost bookings for travel agencies, airlines, and tour operators, and missed tourism revenue on both sides. Preparedness pays off and science is leading the way. Project NOAA, the country's flagship disaster mitigation program, recorded 0 mass casualty disasters during its national run, says Executive Director Lagmay. On Bilyonaryo News Channel's The Spokes, Lagmay explains that from 2020 to 2026, Project NOAA worked closely with the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council. He adds that no disaster causing mass casualties was documented in any location affected by a hazard. However, Lagmay notes that the program's defunding was allegedly influenced by politics. Investing in science-based disaster prevention can reduce economic losses, protect critical infrastructure, and safeguard workforce productivity when hazards strike. Economists and business groups are weighing in on the impeachment complaint against President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. We turn to Paulo Barcelon for the latest reactions. Paulo, what are the business leaders saying about this latest political development?
Hi, Robert. Opinions are divided among economists and business groups on the impeachment complaint filed against President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., particularly on how it could affect the country's economy. Former Social Welfare Undersecretary and now economist Emmanuel Leico says the economic impact will depend on how the impeachment process moves, whether it's against President Marcos or Vice President Sara Duterte.
Kung ang impeachment ng dalawa, BBM at Vice President VP Sara ay makakatulong para malinis na, maging malinaw na kung ano ang magiging pamunuan ng ating pamahalaan at direksyon ng ating ekonomiya ay magiging malinaw, mabuti yan. Pero kung ang mangyayari lang, no, magkakaroon ng impeachment pagkatapos parang nagbo-boxing lang at magsasawa rin ng mga tao. Hindi rin nila sasabihin na may mangyayari ba yan o wala.
Leico adds that investors and the business sector are closely watching developments as the fate of political leaders could affect economic conditions heading into 2026. Meanwhile, RCBC Chief Economist Michael Ricafort says the economic impact will also depend on who has the support of the business community and other major sectors.
Sino ba yung sinusuporta ng biggest business groups? Sino ba yung sinuporta ng biggest religious group? Diba? Pati yung sino? Yung duly elected government natin. It's a numbers game. No? So kung kulang yung numero, well and good. Pero kung disruptive kasi, kung may element of uncertainty, doon magkakaproblema.
On the other hand, Robert, Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry Vice President for Trade Brian Ang warns that impeachment could damage the country's image among foreign investors. He says it signals political instability that could affect the Philippines' ASEAN chairmanship in 2026.
We are coming from a scandal on flood control na unresolved pa. The year before that, Quadcom, Quintacom, trying to remove the Vice President from office. So it has been, 2 years already wasted on political noise and mudslinging. And then you want to start 2026 doubling down on this. So we hope you trail your attention more to economic reforms. Kailangan ng bansa to jumpstart this economy.
Ang also says lawmakers should focus on restoring unprogrammed funds for foreign-assisted projects to revive government infrastructure spending. Robert.
Thank you for that report, Paulo Barcelon. We're taking a short break. Stick around. We've got more stories ahead. You're watching Business Brief. When energy demands are rising, a new discovery could change the game. The Department of Energy celebrates a natural gas find at Malampaya East 1, estimated at 98 billion cubic feet, as a major boost to the Philippines' energy security. Energy Secretary Sharon Garin says Filipino engineers led the discovery, proving that science-based exploration can deliver power without environmental incidents. The reservoir can generate 13.9 billion kilowatt hours, supplying 5.8 million homes or 2.78 million streetlights for a year, underscoring its strategic value. The DOE hails the find as a milestone for long-term energy reliability and as a platform for future renewable energy expansion. You'd think halting projects would slow investment. Instead, Energy Secretary Sharon Garin believes ending 163 idle renewable energy contracts could actually lure developers with the right technical and financial chops. Timing, she says, will be critical. But analysts caution that investor interest hinges on more than cancellations. Success depends on how quickly and fairly the DOE rebids terminated projects, resolves grid and permitting issues, and sets realistic timelines. Garin emphasizes the DOE is tightening pre-qualification rules. The agency plans to bar unserious developers from bidding, opening opportunities only to credible, committed players. The move could spark a surge in renewable energy investment, but experts warn that delays or inconsistent implementation may fuel uncertainty for investors. While markets worry about regulatory barriers, the Philippines is streamlining access for investors. Security and Exchange Commission Chairman Francis Lim says the country remains a stable, reliable place to do business as the SEC rolls out major reforms to boost investor confidence. Lim says the SEC introduces faster approval timelines, simple applications are processed in 3 days, complex filings in 7 days, and highly technical submissions in 20 days. He notes the Commission expands its OneSec digital system, allowing online incorporation for 81 company types, including foreign-owned firms, cutting processing time to under 2 hours for complete applications. Lim adds that the SEC reduces fees, saving the public over 110 million pesos, while emphasizing that speed must not come at the expense of market integrity. The Philippines is feeling the heat in Southeast Asia, not just in growth, but in scale, influence, and investor appeal. On Bilyonaryo News Channel's Business 360, Credit Rating and Investor Services Philippines Chief Economist Professor Emmanuel Leco calls the country's current 6th place rank in ASEAN economic power disappointing. He says the Philippines is losing ground to nations it once helped train and support, pointing to underwhelming GDP performance and lackluster governance from officials.
We'd like to do more for the Philippines, but it looks like there is just so much that a management school can do to the country. The government leadership will have to pick up the burden, the heavy burden of bringing development to the country.
The slow recovery in economic standing could affect foreign investment, regional partnerships, and competitiveness across key industries in ASEAN. Ombudsman Boying Remulla criticizes Congressman Leandro Leviste for failure to deliver on solar power commitments to the country. On a radio program, Remulla points out to investors' lack of confidence in the country's power sector, with Leviste at the center of controversies over his now canceled solar firm contracts. He also claims Leviste and his mother, Senator Lauren Legarda, received a franchise due to alleged ties with former President Rodrigo Duterte's administration.
Niloko lang tayong lahat. Kasi may kakuntsaba niya sa taas. Hindi niya naintindihan yung corporate structure niya. O, sino kasama niya? Di may mga abogadong kausap yan?
Siyempre.
May connection yan sa taas nun. May connection yan sa Duterte government. 2019 yung franchise.
Remulla says he has coordinated with the National Power Corporation to address the issue. The Department of Trade and Industry brings home new investment interest from the United Arab Emirates, with renewable energy and digital infrastructure firms eyeing the Philippines. Trade Secretary Cristina Roque says clean energy giant Masdar and data center developer Damac Digital expressed interest in setting up operations in the country. Roque confirms Masdar is planning a large-scale renewable energy project with Bohol among 3 possible sites following talks with Masdar CEO Mohammed Jamil Al-Ramahi and Asia-Pacific head Fatima Al-Suwaidi. She adds Damac Digital is considering Laguna for a 250-megawatt data center that the Marcos administration says could become the largest in the Philippines. You'd expect a flyover to speed things up, but first it must pass a safety check. Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon orders a third-party assessment of the stalled Aganan flyover in Iloilo City ahead of its planned opening this year. The flyover is designed to ease traffic along Felix Goriseta Jr. Avenue and Benigno S. Aquino Jr. Avenue. It remains a DPWH priority, targeting completion by the end of 2026. Dizon says a foreign consultant will verify the structure's integrity. Meanwhile, regional officials flag an additional 285 million pesos needed for road widening and jet grounding. Dizon adds infrastructure spending will accelerate this year after past corruption concerns delayed project disbursements and weighed on economic growth. The flyover's completion could mean shorter traffic delays, smoother logistics, and a boost to local economic activity in Iloilo. China posts record low birth rate in 2025 with population shrinking for the 4th consecutive year, raising long-term demographic concerns. The National Bureau of Statistics reports 7.92 million babies born last year, outpaced by 11.31 million deaths, while the over 60 population reaches 323 million, or 23% of the total. Despite the demographic pressure, China's economy grows 5% in 2025, buoyed by record exports and resilient industrial output. Analysts warn that falling births and slow consumer spending could weaken domestic demand, making the economy increasingly dependent on exports. We're taking another short break. Up next, taking a quick look at the markets today. That and more when Business Brief returns. Stay with us. Global billionaire wealth surges to a record $18.3 trillion in 2025, tripling its recent growth rate, Oxfam says. The charity notes the fortunes of the world's richest rose 16% last year, even as 1 in 4 people struggle to eat and nearly half live in poverty. Oxfam warns the wealth boom concentrates political power, with billionaires thousands of times more likely to hold office than ordinary citizens. The group calls on governments to tax extreme wealth, reduce inequality, and limit the influence of billionaires in politics and media. Asian shares trade mostly lower after China reports 5% economic growth in 2025, with slowdown noted in the final quarter. JSX Composite, KSE 100, Thailand Set IDX, and Shanghai Composite trade higher. S&P, ASX, All Ordinaries, FTSE, Bursa, Malaysia KLCI, Hang Seng, HNX 30, Nikkei 225, and BSE Sensex are down. On currencies, the US dollar trades at 157.88 against the yen, 7.79 versus the Hong Kong dollar, 128 against the Singapore dollar, 14.73 against the South Korean won, and 31.25 against the Thai baht. The Australian dollar trades at 66 cents against the greenback. On commodities, gold rise while oil prices are mixed. Bitcoin trades nearly 3% lower and Ethereum falls by over 4%. A new frontier for American finance. The New York Stock Exchange, Texas, is officially open in Dallas, and U.S. President Donald Trump is sounding the alarm for Wall Street. Trump calls building the NYSE in Dallas unbelievably bad for New York, warning that the rise of a southern financial hub will challenge the city's newly elected leadership. In its first 3 months, the Texas hub has already secured dual listings for 10 major firms, including energy giant Halliburton and the Trump Media and Technology Group. It's about competition. The Dallas expansion signals a significant shift in U.S. capital markets, potentially forcing New York to fight harder to retain its status as the world's primary financial capital. Gold and silver prices climbed to record highs as investors flock to safe haven assets amid escalating tensions over Greenland. Spot gold rises 1.5% to over $4,600 an ounce, while U.S. gold futures jump 1.6%, following President Donald Trump's threat to impose additional tariffs on European countries. EU leaders reach agreement to discourage tariffs and consider retaliatory measures if duties are imposed, intensifying geopolitical uncertainty. Analysts warn that the Greenland dispute and tariff threats could further drive safe haven demand, pushing precious metals prices even higher. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent asserts European weakness makes U.S. control of Greenland essential for global stability amid lawmakers' concern over the Trump administration's plan. Bessent calls Greenland crucial in the geopolitical chess match with Russia and China. He adds that the U.S. is the strongest country in the world, noting Europe projects weakness while the U.S. shows strength. He made the remarks a day after U.S. President Donald Trump vowed to implement tariffs on European Union members opposed to a U.S. acquisition, including Denmark, which has long been one of Washington's staunchest allies. Coming up, hear from our guests and catch more news right after this. The Philippines is growing, reforms are rolling out, and headlines highlight progress. But for many Filipinos, prices are rising, savings feels tight, and opportunities aren't obvious. Today, we cut through the numbers and focus on money you can feel and understand with practical steps, clear risks, and real opportunities. Straight from a financial advisor's perspective, our guest is someone who helps Filipinos make sense of money in real life. He is a financial advisor, educator, and speaker with years of experience guiding individuals and businesses on how to grow, protect, and manage their finances. Welcome to the show, David. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you, Robert, for having me again. All right.
It's good to always have your insights on the show. Now,
Yes.
David, let's start with this. Now, people hear the economy is improving, but what does that actually mean for an ordinary Filipino's wallet or small business? How can they actually see this improvement?
Well, in the first place, if you are an employee, you'll be experiencing more job applications because businesses are expanding. Second, there's going to be lower interest rates. Banks are calling you because they want to give you more loans.
More loans.
Right?
Is that good or bad?
That's a good
Yeah.
thing, but
Okay.
sometimes it's a trap. But let's talk more about that one later. Another thing is aside from lower interest rates, when it comes to the loans, you're going to be experiencing high savings yield. That's
okay.
exactly for the employees. But for entrepreneurs, like those people who are currently watching right now, again, they're experiencing customer demands. There's gonna be a lot more people who's gonna be spending their money because not all people are spendthrift, especially when the economy is growing. And another thing that entrepreneurs are also experiencing are the infrastructures. More bridges are being built, more malls are being built as well through PPP, And lastly, they're also experiencing the loans coming from the banks because obviously business expansion is also equivalent to growth of the economy.
Now, okay, before we go and break that down, let's break down another thing. You know, when you pay taxes,
Yes.
how does that impact your daily spending and investments for the ordinary Filipino?
Well, for those people who are not earning enough, they're being spendthrift because everything that they earn right now, although it's really good because of the train law, good thing there's going to be more net income for those people who are earning that, especially if you're earning 250,000 and above. But the problem here is the government added taxes in the sugary drinks, in other businesses. So they're also experiencing these types of barbell economics wherein they need to do a little bit of consciously awareness exercise whether this expenses is necessary for them or not. All right. So, but for those people who are earning above and beyond, well, they have more options and better options when it comes to investing.
Now, as a financial advisor, when you talk to a lot of your clients, what should every Filipino understand to make smarter money decisions? You know, reforms like tax changes, digitalization, ease of doing business, you know, they sound technical, but from a personal finance point of view, which ones really affect how people manage their money day to day?
Well, you know what? That's a good question because way back 2016, the unbanked Filipinos are 77%. Right now, it's down to 50. But if you're going to be looking at another data, the digital transaction share way back 2016 was less than 4%. Right now, it's close to 60. So imagine that, digitalization.
That's a big jump.
Yes, digitalization was actually really the big winner here. That's why if you are a business owner, please, and I recommend you to accept all those digital transactions. You know what? We've been into Northern Luzon and even in Mindanao. Very seldom are actually accepting QR codes. All right, everyone is actually accepting cash basis only, right? So that's why it's a massive jump, especially in terms of your sale, if you will allow people to pay through digital banks.
But there are some, I don't know, I've seen some stores, they just accept digital, not cash.
Yes, because
We're seeing that, why that change?
There's a shift because it also involves less monitoring, okay, for them, and at the same time, easy transactions. No need for them to give sukle. Ika nga. All right. So for efficiency purposes, that's exactly their mindset as a business owner.
Well, na-erode na ba yung what people always say, cash is king?
Well, not yet. Not yet. Okay. Well, there are certain sectors out there that they still prefer cash. But right now, with the growing economy and majority of our people right now, our population is currently age 24 right now. Majority of them are using their phone to pay. So that's an easy way for them to get an access to a really good population who spends a lot.
Now, talking about spending, you know, prices keep rising, but salaries don't really usually match the kind of spending that's happening now. How should Filipinos today adjust their budgets, savings, investments to not only survive, but maybe benefit and grow their money along the way?
Well, I recommend them to have a multiple income stream because this is what I believe. If you want to finance your dreams, increase your income streams. Doing your budget with a single income is really tough. You know what, Robert? I spoke directly to 1,000 people already, and most of them are employees in between 25 to 44. They have 2 extra jobs aside from their current income stream. You know why? When I ask them behind it, why do you do the things that you do right now? Because they recognize the fact that it's too pricey to live in an urban area right now.
But do you see more really going into multiple income streams? Although we see a lot of still fear, like going into small businesses, but still also working a 9-to-5 job. It's very hard, very time-consuming for them.
Not everyone is cut through that multiple income stream as of the moment. But they need to realize that if they are going to want to have a financial freedom or financial security, they need to have multiple cash flows that can support them. Not because if you're gonna be surviving only with one income stream, then you're gonna be thriving with 4 multiple income streams.
Now, you were mentioning about traps a while ago when we were talking about loans. Now, are there ways that Filipinos can legally optimize what they pay or save without falling into those traps that make them lose more money in the long run?
Well, you need to have a combination of investing and doing certain auditing with your finances. For some people out there that I spoke with, they preferred tax-exempt investments, which falls into, let's say, for example, the MP2.
Yes.
Second is the PERA, Personal Equity Retirement Account. All right, so it's growing in numbers. There's a lot of.
But do you see more people being aware of those, what the government is providing, the MP2, the PERA, and all that?
Yeah, well, with the tax itself, all right, so there's, last year, there's this tons of flood control problem, all about taxes. So this year, majority of the I spoke with, especially professionals, they want to look for a tax-exempt investments so that it can also lessen the management fees. There are certain mutual funds with CIMEPA. Second, there's a UITF as well. It's also good as an option for them to explore and increase their investment knowledge.
Now, let's look at the SMEs, the MSMEs. Now, many of them do struggle despite government reforms. Now, what are the most common financial mistakes small businesses and owners make, and how do you think they can fix them?
The deadliest sin, mixing your personal money and your business money. That will create more problems than usual. So how do you fix that? Well, number one, this is what I recommend, and this is what I do. I look for an accountant who can be accountable when it comes to my not only my operations, but at the back end, right? Okay, and then diagnose itself the problem when it comes to the cash flow. Second, another person that you can actually hire is your lawyers. All right, invest in a really good network because lawyers are risk managers. To avoid more problems as a business owner, hang out with all those people.
But some would argue that's expensive. But are these the kinds of fundamentals, the kind of things that you really have to do before you actually start your business?
Yes, I believe that you cannot do it on your own. That's why you need to pay them retainer fees. If you cannot pay them every single month, then you pay them through retainers, through professional fees, and that will solve your problem. It would be better for you to invest for at least 5,000 pesos than to pay legal problems worth 500,000, right?
Because we do see a lot of entrepreneurs who go under the radar. Yeah,
That is the biggest. That is the biggest problem. So that's the main reason why if you do things right,
Yes.
if you're being compliant when it comes to the government, definitely you're a good business owner.
Now, with the market, pesos, and foreign investments all moving, what should everyday Filipinos or entrepreneurs or small investors, where should they focus on first?
Well, clarity. That's actually the first thing that I'd like to share with our televiewers, because I spoke with 2 different types of entrepreneurs. When the market was going down way back November of 2025, she withdrew all her money at the end of the day because she got panic. All right, she was totally panicking about it's like the Philippines is no longer positive. That's exactly the pessimist side. But I spoke with another one, okay, that he knew exactly that this is just a minor correction. And the difference between that mindset is 500,000, because my client spent only at least put money 768,000. Right now it's already 1.3
So mindset talaga.
Exactly. Again, remember, if you panic, emotions will eat you up. Definitely, you'll make a lot of mistakes.
Okay, David, we still have much to discuss about and get a lot of insights on how people can really grow their money. But we'll be right back from our guest, David Angway, right after this. You're still watching Business Brief, and still with us is David Angway, financial advisor, and here to show us and to give us a little more insights and educate us about how we can better use the money and grow our wealth. But let's continue with our discussion, David. Now, looking at the low-hanging fruits versus the hidden risks. When the peso weakens or strengthens, now who actually gains and who loses? How can ordinary Filipinos or businessmen protect themselves when these happen?
All right. Well, knowing the economic cycle will really help a lot. But there are three sectors who will benefit when the peso strength weakens. Number one, the OFWs and their families, because remittances.
They hold dollars, yes.
Yes, that's correct. So they can actually have more spending power. Second is the BPO industry, still doing pretty good right now because they earn dollars, right? And then the number three is the exporters, because they export really goods. They're the goods and they earn dollars as well. But the sectors that's actually affecting really the most is like
here in the local scene,
the consumers, right? So if you want imported goods, you need to pay a higher fee for that, right?
We don't earn in dollars.
Exactly.
Here.
Second, the manufacturers. Those are the sectors that
get hit.
Yes, and instead of having a large margins, they're experiencing margin squeeze. Because
Now, how can they protect themselves? How can they look at the market data and use that to their advantage?
Well, they can diversify their business processes. That's the main reason why some business owners are actually moving their manufacturing company outside the country. And at the same time, about those consumers out there, they're looking for other people to buy goods outside the country instead buying it here, right? And so, as a business owner, you need to this is actually something that I'd like to emphasize. You time the market here, all right? Or probably you can also do currency spread distribution, wherein you...
That's easier said than done, though, for those who are not really that well educated about the market. But, for someone who just wants to save, who doesn't really earn that much, how can they protect themselves? How can they save? Where can they put their money?
Oh, all right. Well, they can actually put it directly in a global market right now. I believe that the last time I spoke about these things, the global mutual funds are doing pretty well. I've seen earlier at least 26% this year alone. All right, so it's
growth.
Yes, exactly. So that's the main reason why our local equities are not doing pretty good as of the moment. All right, although it's 7% positive right now from January 1 up to this date, but the global markets year on year is actually like earning 26%.
But it still hold when people say when the market's low, buy low, then sell high. Does that still hold whenever you talk to your clients, not just looking for global funds, but looking inside here also? We need to have the economy, of course. If the local economy, nobody...
That's correct.
Nobody invests, then, it's...
So what I normally inform my client is you can diversify whether, let's say, for example,
So mix it up.
At this point in time, 80% global, 20% local equity. If things are doing pretty well, you can probably have 70-30 until such time that we spread it in a really good way. Because what we're looking after right now in terms of the funds is becoming efficient. You're not, you're actually moving into the direction we're in. The clients are happy, and the economy is doing pretty well as well.
Here in the local scene, we're seeing people going digital and also digital companies making it easier now for local investors to, quickly invest even a small amount, 500 pesos, 1,000 pesos in their e-wallets. Do you see a surge right now in a lot of the younger generation, or even the Gen X?
Well, good question, because I spoke to Gen Z company recently, and they were only asking about digital banks, not the commercial banks that we used to love.
Yeah.
Because according to them, they experience at least 6% to 8% growth annually. All right? Unlike the brick and mortar banks that the biggest one, they cannot provide that, right? So that's why these Gen Zs are getting into the trend of making the economy grow as well. And not only that, they're using their salary to pump up the economy and also experience the growth.
That's good. Now, from your experience, David, as when you advise Filipinos, what government reforms or policies actually helped people's finances, and what was a common pitfall that you think people should avoid?
The Ease of Doing Business Act actually helped a lot of Filipinos out there. But the problem or the trap here is we tend to loan a lot, okay, even though we don't really need it. And that's the main reason why I always recommend to my clients that your net income should be at least, let's say for example, if you earn 100 pesos in a month, your debt should not go beyond 33%.
33%?
Yes. Because if you go directly with 50, 70, you're going to be squeezing yourself, you're going to be stressed, you're going to be having more problems.
Is that the usual debt ratio that you give them?
Yes, that's correct. Because if you're already on the 33%, that means you're
Threshold
on the
na yan.
Yes, on the first
Hindi
seat.
mo na mababayaran.
Yes. So there's gonna be more people suffering from high interest rates due to, alam mo yun, it's like, they were asked by the banks to loan even though they don't really like it. All right, so that's why 33% is the rule of thumb for my clients.
Now, David, when you talk to your clients, again, you see so many traps around, but a lot of them don't really see it. Now, if you could give every Filipino watching right now 3 actionable steps how to strengthen their finances in the current economy, what are these? Top 3.
In terms of the digital stuff, delete your apps that you're not using anymore. All right.
Ano apps yun?
All those apps that's really killing your finances. Okay, I'm not gonna be naming names, but delete all those apps that's not multiplying your money, not multiplying your time, and causing you more brain rot. Okay, that's the first thing. All right. Second, move your money, those funds, that excess funds, into a tax-exempt investments. All right, you start doing that.
Sa pera.
Yes, pera, MP to maximize those, because there's gonna be an incentive there.
But those are investments that you put in and you just leave it there for a long time. It's a long-term investment.
Yes, exactly. And again, don't withdraw that money, especially if there's an emergency right away. So, and then lastly, I believe that you need to also protect yourself, because you are the main cash cow of your family, or probably your own business.
That's where insurance comes in.
Exactly. You can go ahead and have a VUL insurance, term insurance, HMOs for entrepreneurs are also important. And lastly, if you're traveling, okay, make sure to also have your own insurance.
And finally, David, now what's the single most important money principle Filipinos must understand today, not just to survive, but to thrive?
Well, don't just consume, be part of the economy wherein you build business, or create more value to your community, so that in exchange for a certain amount of money, so that if you can create more value, then you'll end up having more income.
David, thank you for your insights. A lot of learnings, and hopefully those watching can get a lot of the insights and learn where the traps are and to
Yes.
avoid them. Thank you very much, David.
Thank you, Robert.
Okay, we'll take a short break. The news and local markets will be coming up. Business Brief will be right back. Philippine shares end the first trading day of the week in the negative territory. The PSCI closes 0.4% lower to 64.37. Majority of the sectoral indices are in the red, with financials falling the most at over 1%. Decliners outpace advancers 112 to 87, with value turnover at 5.2 billion pesos. Majority of the day's most active stocks are in the red, with Philex Mining falling the most at over 7%. And in currencies, the peso is currently trading at 59.36 against the US dollar, down from the previous close of 59.35. And that's a wrap for today's Business Brief. I'm Robert Tan. Join us again tomorrow for the stories that help you plan your next big, bold business moves. Only here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.